Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And here we are, another edition of Home Track Heroes. Steve Mortland here, Tom Glethero over there. Kind of a unique night we have coming up, Tom. Two 50-lap Pro Late Model races brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet. The whole night brought to us by J2 Racing Parts, so we thank them. But kind of an interesting scenario for these teams.
You know, I love 50-lap races. You can't sit around and wait. If you're going to win this thing, you're going to have to drive the front. The thing that kind of puts the monkey in this deal is there's twin 50-lap features. You have to run the same set of tires in both 50 laps. So you're going to put 100 laps on it. So in the first one, yeah, you want to win it, but how hard do you push it? Because you're going to have to use those skins again in the second 50. So a little bit of dialogue going on between the driver, crew chief, spotter, and it's going to be interesting to see who manages tires well tonight.
Yeah, we've got a pretty cool field of cars coming your way tonight here on CW11. I want to mention to you, J2 Racing Parts is your headquarters for everything racing. Online at j2racing.parts or right across the street from Evergreen Speedway in Monroe. J2 Racing Parts, your local racing parts supplier here in Monroe. Another great thing we've got going on tonight, we'll have our NASCAR mini stocks with us as well. The Outlaw Figure 8s return. The Northwest Motorsports Street Stocks are here with us, and like we were talking about, a pretty cool couple of 50 laps coming up. Also joining us tonight, as he has been all season long, is Kyler Hope, and he's going to be talking to some drivers here right now. Let's go down to Kyler.
Down here with the Cowboy, John Carlson, entering his second year with this car in the Outlaw Figure 8s. How much was last year's learning curve with this new car?
It was a big learning curve with the car. I was learning a lot of things with it. A lot of people know I went back to Indy and bought the car, and they do things a little bit different, and just trying to learn what the car needed. It took quite a bit.
So also this year you have another curveball thrown at you with the 970 tires. How much has that changed how much the car drives?
Surprisingly, these tires I've been really surprised with these tires. Haven't really had to do a whole lot of chassis changes on the car. It's been actually pretty nice.
And for people who don't know who you are, how do you celebrate a normal victory for you?
So I like to climb the fence in Victory Circle. That got started back, I gotta throw it out to Tony Stewart when he won Indy at the Brickyard that first year, and he climbed the fence, and I was like, you know what, that's what I need to do, because that's a new, nice little deal. Everybody's doing burnouts, and I was looking for something a little different. So that's been kind of the thing for a long time now.
Hopefully we'll see the Cowboy at the top of the fence tonight. Mike Marthaler, fifth quick today in qualifying. You got a fast car here, a lot of experience at Evergreen Speedway.
Yeah, car's feeling pretty good. Made a little adjustment. Hopefully the heat race, we went the right way.
You've raced sprint cars a few times last year, a lot of different types of cars on this 3/8 mile. How much fun is this track to drive?
Man, this track it's pretty challenging. I ran Wenatchee and I've ran Hermiston, and Evergreen by far is, if you're fast at Evergreen, you can be fast anywhere else.
Look out for the 44 cars. He plans to take his experience to the top of the podium. Down here at Dylan Bewald, and 2 weeks ago you had a little issue during practice. Want to explain what happened?
Yeah, it turns out we had a brake on us, and so I lost the right rear coming out of the corner. So it took us a while, but we managed to run up to my buddy's house and get a part and come back and fix it enough to get back on the track.
So this car has been through a lot, and you've taken it to Yakima Speedway, a few other tracks in the Northwest, and you've got a lot of experience the last few years. How much has that helped you in the 2020 season at Evergreen?
I mean, it's definitely helping us out that we're kind of one of the top cars I like to feel, at least. And we've had this car. This is our fourth year with this car too, so we know it pretty well. We know what it'll do and how it'll drive. Definitely helps a lot.
A lot of experience for Dylan Bewald rolling out tonight for the mini stock main event. Out here with Greg Bennett. He was fast time a couple weeks ago. So far it's been the fastest lap in qualifying we've seen with the 970 tires. How much of a learning curve has that been for you this year?
Well, we were pretty fortunate that when the 970s were announced, that we contacted everybody we knew that already ran on them. So we started doing research there, and then we just booked practice date after practice date. And that really gave us a chance to really learn and know what these tires need. But they're completely different than the slicks, and you got to drive them completely different.
Yeah. You have two races tonight on them. How much is that going to change from race 1 to race 2?
Actually, that's the beautiful thing about these. Last time when we got track record last week, we were on 130 lap old tires. So the nice part about these tires is there's going to be consistency from race to race. So for sure.
What's been the biggest learning curve with these tires?
You know what is just how to drive them. That's the biggest thing. Because with slicks, you can throw the car around, do whatever you want to do with them. But these, you have to learn to drive them. Smooth in, smooth off. That's the way it is.
Greg Bennett looking to take his experience up to the top of the board today.
All right, thank you very much, Kyler. Some pretty cool stuff from Greg there about the tire, because I think that was a hang-up for a lot of people. What's this tire going to do? And it sounds to me like, and Greg just kind of pointed it out, it's a pretty good deal.
You're right. I think they're finding out they're going to like them a whole lot better than even they thought. And the reason these tires are so important is the cost of tires. When a tires only last one night, the tire bill is pretty extensive by the end of the year.
All right, let's get our cars introduced for the first of 250 laps for our Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models. In the number 70 car, he'll be starting on the pole, our former broadcast partner, Jeff Knight. And outside of Jeff in the 12C is Chad Fitzpatrick. Cody Graham will be in the number 9 cars tonight. Dario Redich, who got picked up his first win last couple weeks ago when the Pro Late models were on. He is behind the wheel of the 37 car, and he will have an in-car camera, so we expect some good shots from Dario. Greg Bennett, you just heard him on the in the number 98. Tyson Lang in car number 18. The 16, a former champion, Daniel Moore, and the 48T of Tanner Holm.
In row 5, it'll be Dawson Cox in the 7D car. He'll also have a camera. Outside of him in the 91 will be Rob Dees. The next row back, the 12B, Michael Brooks. Outside, Wyatt Gardner in the 3 car, and trailing the field will be the 74 car of Dan Beecher.
As you see the cars on their warm-up lap, side by side, all the drivers paying tribute to a racer that we lost here last week in the Pacific Northwest, J.C. Wofford, and tributes all around the Pacific Northwest for cars that are running are paying tribute to J.C., and he will be missed. All right, John Peterson in the flag stand tonight, and he is giving the cars the 1 lap to go sign. Kind of an idea of what's going through these guys' minds. They know they've got to get this one done. They've also got to make sure that thing stays together for another 50 laps later on.
You're right. If you're going to take a chance, you take it in the second race, not the first feature, because if you don't start the second feature, not much chance of winning it, that's for sure.
And boy, you cannot imagine that guy that's on the pole, Jeff Knight in the number 70, is absolutely hungry for a win, and a great shot as they come out of turn 4. They're on the 3/8. John's waving the flag, and we are underway for the J2 Racing, bringing you the first of the 250 lap features. Speedway Chevrolet bringing you the division, and down the backstretch they go as they coming out of turn number 3 to complete lap number 1. Look at the 12 of Chad Fitzpatrick, early lead heading into 1.
Yeah, he made a nice move on the outside of Jeff Knight. Jeff falling back in that second spot right there. But right now it's Chad Fitzpatrick in the number 1 spot, looking for that first win. And, you know, Dario had it a week or 2 ago. Nothing like that first win. But it's Fitzpatrick followed by Knight, Redich, Graham, and Tyson Lang in the top 5.
Tyson Lang is an interesting story, too. Tom and I do a podcast called North Sound Racing, and we had Tyson's grandpa, Ron Fritzley, on, and we asked him what's the future going to hold for this young man. As we go inside the 37 car of Dario Redich, we'll let you concentrate on this, and I'll finish the comment I was going to make as he's taking a look down on the inside of the 70 of Jeff Knight. Meanwhile, up front, you can just see him through the windshield there, is the 12 of Chad Fitzpatrick as we bring it out of turn number 4 to complete lap number 3 as they're working 4 out of 50. But thought I had was Tyson Lang is an incredible high school quarterback. And, Ron was telling us that if, Tyson has to make a choice between playing football or stock car racing, he's going to go with football. But now we get to kind of see him all season long with high school sports unfortunately being put off. But we get to have him and enjoy him for the rest of the season. So pretty good deal for us.
2 weeks ago, the winner, Dario Redich, sliding in the number 2 spot. Jeff Knight following back to 3rd, followed by Cody Graham, Daniel Bud Moore, and Greg Bennett. Tyson falling back a couple of spots right now, but it's early in the race. Spotters up above talking to those drivers, reminding them you've got 44 more laps. My math's bad today. 44 more laps in this one, then another 50 after that. So at this particular point, I'm going to guess Fitzpatrick spotter is saying, okay, you're out there about 8-10 car lengths. That's all we need. Let's not run that thing any harder than we have to.
Chad Fitzpatrick is absolutely loving life right now as he comes out of turn number 4 with about a 10 to 15 car length lead over Dario Redich in the 37D car. There you see a good shot of Jeff Knight And Cody Graham in the number 9 car. Graham coming low out of turn number 2 that time. Single file, these guys, like Tom had mentioned earlier, just kind of not necessarily cruising around, because I don't want you to think that they're slacking up, because they all want to obviously go forward and win this thing. But a lot to consider as the race wears on, as we're working lap number 10.
You're right, and you can see they're being, just as you said, a little bit careful right now, trying to make sure what kind of race car they in fact have and what's it going to be like in another 40 laps.
Right.
What happens is the air pressure comes up. As the tires get warmer and warmer, the pressure will come up. That'll change the stagger a little bit, the difference in circumference between the right side and the left side. They're going to burn off a lot of fuel. They started with probably 22 gallons of fuel, somewhere in that range, and as that weight comes off the rear of the car, that's also going to change the handling some a little bit right now. And you can see Jeff Knight struggling just a little bit with that race car, and I know that they've been working very, very hard. It's a new car for them, and new car blues right now early in the season.
But boy, Jeff will get it figured out. He has proven that time and time again in all the seasons he's raced, both on the 3/8 and 5/8 in the late model division. We are working lap number 13. It is still Chad Fitzpatrick, still clicking up pretty much the fastest times of the race. Turned to 17:287 on lap number 13, and we'll see what it changes to. But just really getting a good lesson in where he wants the car to go, trying to listen to what it's telling him, because they all do, as we get this really cool shot coming off. This looks like this camera might be on a post, just rounding, coming into turn number 4, but a really nice shot.
You're right, and a big shout out to the 7D car of Dawson Cox, now currently running in 9th.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks ago, a big time crash. I'm sure they burned a lot of midnight oil, spent a lot of money getting that thing straightened out, and it looks like right now he's just taking pretty darn good care of his equipment. As we see the 9 car, Kelly Graham, kind of come off turn 4 and stub his toe just a little bit, it seemed like, and people are right there ready to take advantage of that.
Yeah, no kidding. They were ready. And boy, I was really kind of keeping an eye on the 18 of Tyson Lang on that last lap, as he was just getting ready to take a look on the inside before Graham got loosened up coming out of turn number 4. But Daniel Moore working the outside. Tyson Lang hugging the bottom of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Tyson widened it out a bit. I think he might want to, it's hard to say where he wants to go, because he's not going to be able to get through those two. They're taking up a lot of real estate, but a good side-by-side battle for that 4th position.
You're right. Cody Graham, grandson of Ron Bennett, out of Ellensburg. So they make the trip over the hill every week to come over here and run, and they've had that car. They've had a legend car out here. That Bennett family, they do nothing but race, and they do it well.
And they really do it well, too. And good to have Ron still active in this, and just a great personality. Did so much over in Yakima Speedway back in the glory days, and he was reason for a lot of the glory days. So good to have him back out here as we are working lap number 20 out of the first of the 50 laps. Features 4 are Speedway Chevrolet late models. The Chad Fitzpatrick in position number 1, followed by Dario Reddick, Jeff Knight, Daniel Moore, Cody Graham, Tyson Lang, Tanner Holm, Greg Bennett, Dawson Cox, and Wyatt Gardner. And I think I saw one of those cars, it may have been the 3 of Wyatt Gardner, going off the track and down the backstretch a few laps ago, so we'll hope that he is still in it. And we have got a car spun. That's the number 9 car of Graham. While he's getting that spurred around, let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Home Track Heroes from Evergreen Speedway.